Hey friends, it's Allison here, jumping in real quick before you get into all the juicy details of today's episode. Did you know there is just one more week left to our 200th episode giveaway where you have the chance to win a full ride scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint? This is the way to heal your gut so that you can poop daily, ditch acid reflux, and balance your hormones even when nothing else has worked. Here's how you can enter. Leave a rating and review on the Better Belly podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify between now and May 29th. Take a screenshot of that rating and review, then go to betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway and fill out our 200th episode giveaway form. You will automatically receive an email with a code for $200 off the Better Belly Blueprint, which you're going to get as soon as you send in that form. And then a full scholarship winner is going to be announced on May 30th and messaged by email. If you win, you're going to win a full scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint. And if you don't win, you can still get $200 off, which is 20% off of the Better Belly Blueprint if you join by May 31st at midnight. So go ahead and leave a rating and review. Get that giveaway form filled out at betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway, and you can finally end your constipation, acid reflux, and PMS for good. Do you feel like 2022 was wah, wah, wah when it comes to your health? Do you feel like you tried everything in 2022 only to hit roadblocks and barriers in your health? Or are you not sure what to do in 2023 to make everything right? If so, then this podcast is for you. Today, I'm going over the 3 questions you need to jumpstart your best health starting in 2023. So grab a pen and paper or a handy phone and iPad. You're going to want to write down some notes for this juicy episode. It's time to grow, girl. Welcome to the Better Belly podcast, where we find freedom from food restrictions, we increase energy in our lives, and we begin to feel more healthy and vibrant than ever by finding the root causes of our health problems. My name is Allison Jordan. I'm a marathon runner, functional medicine health coach, certified craniosacral therapist, gut health nerd, lover of Jesus, and owner of Better Belly Therapies, a clinic based in Ann Arbor, Michigan that works with both virtual and local clients to help them achieve the best health of their life. I am here to walk with you on your journey to a better belly and a better life. We're going to go beyond popping a probiotic and just checking out our poop. In this show, we are going to go deep into gut transformation strategies that last for your entire life. If you are ready to feel your best, get ready to roll. You are in the right place. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. Okay, guys, so I hope you have some pen and paper, or seriously, like, have your iPhone or iPad out to take notes, because this episode is going to be super juicy, and I want to give you some really practical, tactical things that you can do to set yourself up for major wins in 2023. Everything I'm about to tell you, I have already done myself for my own health for 2023. And first off, I'm super excited for 2023 because I'm crystal clear on what I want, what I'm going to be doing, and what I need to do to get there so that I can say I achieved my goals. And now I get to share it with y'all. So that makes it like extra exciting. All right, you guys ready? Number 1 on your sheet of paper, what I want you to do is start brain dumping all the goals you have for your health. Any goals, whether it's next year or later or anything, just when you think, this is what I have in my health, I want to start writing it down. So anything that comes to mind is just a big brain dump. So for some of my examples, I wrote down things like run a half marathon, do a mold and parasite detox, I want to get pregnant. You might write down things like lose weight, end your bloating and gas, get rid of chronic acne. Maybe you want to get pregnant, get off the low FODMAP diet. Whatever it is that's going on in your health that is whatever you want, that's your next level, right? Something that's either annoying you and you want to get rid of it, or something that you want to run towards because it makes you excited or because it enables you to do other goals or dreams that you have in your life, go and write those things down in your health. So that is step number 1. And the brain dump part is important because a lot of times I almost feel like there's this congestion problem in our health. If you've been struggling getting momentum in your health, you kind of get all these dreams that pile up, right? And if you don't write them down, they just feel like they're bouncing around in your head, and you can't really get focused on, well, what are they, right? So I want you to just write down stuff, and maybe some of these dreams you won't necessarily achieve or do next year, but this is an awesome time to just get in touch again with all the dreams you have in regards to your health. So that's number 1, just brain dump your goals. Number 2, what you're going to do now after, and maybe pause this podcast if you haven't brain dumped everything. If you are listening to this right now and you're being guided through this process with this little sheet of paper that you have, pause. But if you are done, or you are pre-listening to this podcast because you're going to come back to it later to finish this and actually write stuff down, then you can restart and go to step number 2, which is looking at all of those goals that you wrote down. I want you to narrow it down to 4. 4 goals. Why 4? This has to do with the fact that there are 4 quarters in a year. And if you run businesses or are familiar with things like taxes, and you might be familiar with the concept of quarters, which is that the whole entire year, January through December, is broken up into 4 different 3-month chunks. So quarter 1 is January through March. Quarter 2 is April through June. Quarter 3 is July through September, and quarter 4 is October through December. And the reason you're gonna pick 4 goals is because you're gonna put 1 goal in every single quarter at the end of all this. But for now, what I want you to do is say, oh my gosh, maybe you only had 7 goals. It's not a big deal. Maybe you had 20 goals that you brain dumped. There's no problem. You canceling out all these other goals doesn't say that they're not important. But what I want you to do is pick 4 goals based off of 2 things. Number 1, what is something that possibly has to happen first before the others are true, right? So maybe you want to get pregnant, like me, but before you want to get pregnant, you want to feel healthier in your body. Because let me tell you, if you get pregnant and you don't feel good now, you will feel worse when you're pregnant, and you can actually pass on some of that. Basically, whatever's going on in your body, you can pass on that to your baby and to the fetus as well. So maybe you're like, I want to get pregnant, but I want to feel good in my body so I can have a better pregnancy and a healthier baby. That's a great goal. So maybe you want to get pregnant, but before you get pregnant, you have to do something else. So figure out what else on your sheet it might have to happen before you get pregnant for you to feel healthy and be healthy when you are pregnant. So pick, again, it's going to be any goal that has to happen first before the other goal, before the other things are true, and then pick a goal that stands out to you more than the other one. Something that would make the biggest difference in your life. Something that would really encourage you. Like maybe if you said, wow, Allison, if I just had less acne, hormonal acne, whatever's going on, I would just feel more confident. It would make a huge difference in my life. I would feel like I finally overcame something that's been haunting me most of my life. So pick whatever would make the biggest difference in your life or impact you and excite you the most. I'm going to tell you right now, especially if you wrote down more than, I'll go back to the number 7, right? 7 goals, but even 7, if you wrote down more than 4 goals, it's going to be really hard to do all of those in 1 year. And that's okay, because the goal is, even in my health, I've never achieved everything I needed to in my health in 1 year. I'm a health practitioner. I still have health goals. Even if I don't consider myself sick, I still have health goals that take intentionality and time and effort to achieve. And I will achieve some of those goals in 2023, but not all of them. And so what we want to do is actually consider and start to think about 2023 as your foundation. You're achieving key goals that help your 2024 be even more awesome. So you're going to narrow down all the goals you brain dumped in step 1. to 4 goals, because those 4 goals we're going to try to fit into 4 different quarters so that you have adequate time to achieve those goals. Number 3 now. So you've narrowed down your goals. And again, pause the podcast if you have to, honestly. And I'm going to give you examples too from what my process was like with all this, but I want you to know what the framework is before I share with you what happened when I did all this. So if you are done narrowing down and you have 4 goals that you feel really excited about, you feel really good on, or maybe you have a couple extra, this next step might help clarify some things for you. So number 3, what you're going to want to do is that paper that you've been writing your brain dump goals on, and then you've narrowed it down. I want you to flip that paper, and on that back side, which is probably blank right now, I want you to separate that paper into 4 different quadrants. So draw a line vertically down the middle, and then draw a line horizontally in the middle of the page. And you're going to get 4 equal quadrants. And in the top left box, I want you to write Q1, stands for quarter 1. That's going to be January, February, and March. In the top right, quarter 2. In the bottom left, quarter 3. And in the bottom right, quarter 4. And what I want you to do is you're going to write down goals in each quarter, 1 goal in each quarter. So you have quarter 1, and you could put a line, and then right under that line, put that goal. So for me, for example, I have quarter 1 is very much of a warm-up quarter for me because of all the other quarters what I know has to happen in quarter 2, 3, and 4, which is partly impacted by the fact that I'm breastfeeding right now. So quarter 1 for me is what I call warm up. And for me, my warm up quarter is mainly finding a counselor and then just planning out my training time to run a half marathon. And honestly, I've actually already started trying to find a counselor, but I've been trying to find a very specific type of counselor. It's been a little slow going. And sometimes finding a health practitioner you want to work with is kind of like a full-time job. You are interviewing people, you're showing up to office appointments, you're jumping on calls, you're scrolling through reviews and websites, and you're trying to figure out who can help me, who do I want to invest my time, energy, and effort into. And that's kind of been the same case for me. So it's almost the end of the year, and I'm just going to start off my quarter 1 trying to find a counselor. Why counselor? 1, I just know that having a new child has been thrown just a whole bunch of new loopholes. It's thrown a bunch of new things at me that I just want more time to process. And the other reason I'm doing a counselor in quarter 1 is because my goals for quarter 2, 3, and 4, I can't do sooner. So I'm filling in and focusing on something that can create a better foundation for me, which is emotional stability as I move into quarter 2, 3, and 4. So that could, by the way, be something that you want to consider if that's a component of what you have going on. If you're like, wow, I really want to focus on losing weight, but I also feel like losing weight is really difficult because I keep on being inconsistent with the things I want to do to lose weight, and maybe emotional stability would be a part of me achieving that. So maybe your ultimate goal in 2023 is to lose some weight, but maybe in quarter 1 you just focus on finding a counselor, finding somebody or some way that you can, joining a life group or a Bible study, joining some type of supportive community that you can just start to get that consistency or foundation for other goals in your health. Let me back up, because honestly, this is what I did. I knew in my health a couple things. 1, I'm breastfeeding, and while I'm breastfeeding, I can't do any major detox or healing programs. So I knew I would probably start stopping. I would stop breastfeeding around June of 2023, a year after my daughter was born. That's a personal choice just to when I wanted to stop breastfeeding. And I knew if I was going to stop in June 2023, then I could follow this. I could actually do a detox before my next pregnancy, because you can't do major detox protocols while you're pregnant or breastfeeding. That's actually it slows the process way down. So I could either, if I'd gotten pregnant between any time while I was still breastfeeding, I'd just end up pushing any detoxing I wanted to do until I finished that pregnancy and then finished even more breastfeeding. So I've delayed getting pregnant so that I can do another detox protocol because I just feel like some things are off in my health and body, and that's what I want to focus on. So I know I have to wait till Q3, that July through September region, to do a detox. That means in Q3, in that bottom left quadrant, I'm going to write mold and parasite detox because that's actually what I think I have going on. Well, right before that detox, I know I also want to do some testing. So in Q2, I have written down 2 lab tests that I want to do, the OAT and GI map, which I will then do in that April through June region, which means I'm also thinking financially, how much money do I have to save up to do that lab testing in those months? And that helps fill out that. So Q3, I have mold and parasite detox. I know that's what's going to happen. And then I know those take typically around 3 months to do. So in Q4, I'm going to say I have a goal that I will get pregnant in Q4. So sometime between October to December, I'm going to get pregnant, or at least open up the possibility and start to get pregnant with my husband. And by the way, yeah, that's vulnerable for me to share. Will I get pregnant right away? I don't know. But that is me planning it out and thinking in advance so that I can have the best pregnancy possible and the best health for my baby possible once I get pregnant with my second child. So that fills out Q3. I have a goal, which is that mold and parasite detox. Q4, I have a goal, which is getting pregnant. Q1, I have a goal, which I'm calling warm up, find a counselor. And then Q2, I want to be training for a half marathon. And that's just because I really wanted to have a half marathon that I would run between each pregnancy. I don't do well thus far with my first pregnancy. It was not a good idea for me to run. I could tell it was not good for my joints. Some women can do it and some can't. But I love to run, and I also want to be able to keep up my health between pregnancies in a way that's exciting for me. And I really love to run half marathons. So I figured I'm going to train for a half marathon April through June. I'll probably run it sometime July and September, but most of the work will be April through June. And then I'll get to do the mold parasite detox July through September. Does that make sense? So my quarters, I kind of couldn't put them in order because I knew I had to reverse engineer my goals, but I broke them down. So you have your 4 goals, and I want you to think about what goals, are there goals that have to happen before the other? Are there goals that have to happen in a certain quarter because of other things going on in your life? And I want you to consider, are you transitioning jobs? Are you moving? Is there anything big going on? Like me, I was breastfeeding. That's big, actually. That's its own little part-time job there. And it does impact your health. So if any of those are true, then fill that out. So now what you've done, as a summary, you've brain dumped your goals, you've identified 4 that you want to focus on, and then you have broken them down into different quarters. Another example that I wanted to give you guys of what this might look like, maybe your culmination of all this, like my culmination of all my goals in 2023 was pregnancy, maybe your culmination is weight loss. But maybe you've looked at weight loss and you're like, well, I am having other problems that I need to address before I can lose weight. So I need to maybe in Q1 work on a budget to make space for a health budget. So maybe you want to lose weight, but you also feel like you want to get a gym membership or hire a personal trainer or get a nutritionist or work with me, Allison Jordan, right here. I would love to partner with you because you've got gas and bloating and you have to deal with those because your body's not going to lose weight until you get rid of the inflammation and all the problems that are causing your gas and bloating, right? So you want to, maybe you say, I need to just go and work on my budget, get a little bit of space in my budget, and then that'll be maybe Q1. You're just skimming, you're scouring through your finances and making financial space for your health goals. Maybe the next thing you want to do in Q2 is find and research a health practitioner you can work with to work smarter and not harder on your weight loss, because weight loss can often be resisted by massive inflammation. So if you've tried diet and exercise and you just don't lose weight, you need to work smarter because working harder will not work for you. Your body is saying we need something else. So maybe I've already tried the DIY lose weight thing, but I need to work with somebody else to get insight into what am I missing? What's the missing link? So maybe quarter 2, you're going to say research and find and hire that health practitioner. And you're giving yourself time because it's going to take time, possibly, unless you already know who it is you want to work with. Pick me. By the way, I would love to work with you. Maybe number 3, you say, I need to do a time audit of my life so that I can make time and find time. Get rid of things that are time wasters. Get rid of things that maybe are not as high priority, things that I'm saying too many yeses to, even that are good, but I need to say no to a couple things to make the actual time that you will need to implement what you want to do to, for example, lose weight. That'd be that time audit. Maybe that's quarter 3. And the quarter 4, you're working with that health practitioner. You have the time to do what that health practitioner is asking you to do. And I'm serious, all the time. In 3 months, we've had clients lose 20, 30, 40 pounds, not even having to do calorie restriction or massive exercise, gentle exercise, normal caloric intake, but massively changing the amount of inflammation in their body, getting rid of food sensitivities, getting rid of pathogens, doing detoxes, and suddenly their body just works better and they just lose weight and they can work smarter, not harder, and get rid of all that shame and frustration while you're at it. So if you are ready to do these things, I hope just do this plan. If you just listen to this and you don't have a paper in front of you, save this podcast episode and go and re-listen to it at a time where you can go to a coffee shop, get some personal time, get up early in the morning, stay up late at night, and put down your goals. Get excited. Honestly, this is a time for you to dream. This is an opportunity. And if you finish this project and then you get to the end and you say, I want to work with somebody who can help me work smarter and not harder in my health, I would love to be that person for you. If you are ready to work with somebody else and help find the missing links in your health so you can have the best health of your life in 2023 and 2024 and 2025 and moving forward, then I want to invite you to join me in the Foundations program in the new year. The Foundations program is my personal one-on-one program, which is 6 months long. That means quarter 1 and quarter 2, or quarter 2 and quarter 3, or quarter 3 and quarter 4, right? 6 months. You now know that. It's personal testing that I help you figure out, where we can figure out what's going on in your health so you can stop guessing and know exactly what you need to do to get out of wherever you're at. And I create a personalized health plan so you don't have to guess on what you need to do. You get 6 months of one-to-one coaching. And I set you up to hit your goals, such as getting rid of that bloating and gas, getting off the low FODMAP, losing weight, getting rid of hormonal acne, and so much more. The Foundations program, I'm so excited to be working with women in the new year and to be taking you through the same thing I do with myself all the time to improve my health of myself and my family. So if you're ready for this, I want you to go to betterbellytherapies.com/waitlist and join the waitlist, because the waitlist is the only place where I invite people to work with me. And it's the only place where I tell people when I'm seeing new clients. I am seeing new clients in the new year, but only on that wait list will you have access to the link to get on my schedule and get going and start that Foundations program. So go to betterbellytherapies.com/waitlist, and I would love to work with you there. All right, guys, I hope you loved that podcast episode and honestly found really tangible steps to move forward and dream and plan about 2023 so you can start to have the best health of your life in 2023. If you have been listening to the Better Belly podcast in 2023, can I ask a favor of you? Will you leave a rating and review for us? Leaving a rating and review helps other people just like you to find our podcast and find hope and healing. So if this podcast has helped you in any way, please scroll down or click the link in our show notes. Head over to our Apple iTunes page and leave a rating and review. This helps people just like you to find this podcast, because that's just how algorithms work. So if you've been impacted in any way positively by this podcast, please go and leave a rating and review. Other ways that you can stay in the conversation, though, with Better Belly Therapies is by following us on Instagram at Better Belly Therapies. I love connecting with our listeners there, and it means so much if if you dropped by and said hi. And if you love this episode, we have so much more coming down the line. So don't forget to subscribe so that you can hear all the juicy episodes coming up. And if you thought of a friend, lastly, while you were listening to this episode and you said, I just know someone who'd be blessed by a little bit of guidance and a short episode on how to plan for the new year in their health, then I want you to take a screenshot of this friend and send it to them so that they can get access to this as well. I cannot tell you how many times when I tell someone I'm a gut health therapist that they say, oh, I know someone who needs you. So send this friend a love note to their gut and pass this podcast along to them. Well, I cannot wait to be with you guys next week. I just want to let you know we're going to have an awesome podcast episode on the 3 mindsets that you can demolish. So if you listen to this episode and you're like, Allison, I just don't think I can, check out next week's episode because we are going to be digging in to all the mindsets, the top 3 that I see holding people back in their health, so you can crush those and move forward in 2023 with confidence. I can't wait to see you guys there. Catch you guys next week.